Hello, everyone. Welcome to another segment of family diversity. I think, yes, it has been a long time coming. So, the drama of having family diversity at the
Tell me
park
about it. Tell me about it.
on stage 6. Huh? Load shedding. Huh? Tell me about that drama.
Imagine
Mic switching off. Hey,
the bed.
laptop. Yeah.
It was too much.
It
It was
was
too much.
don't try it,
It
at
was
home.
too much. Please don't. Please.
So, in case you're wondering why are we doing this part again, is because we couldn't finish the family diversity program, and we just had drama. So today we wanted to be safe and to make sure that we don't have load shedding stage 6 and hey, people cutting grass and people playing around and whatever.
And
We
people wanting
decided.
to podcast.
Yes, people walking in front of the camera.
Opportunities. Opportunities. Why not?
Oh, we had a full drama.
Understand.
Yeah. So we decided to come to Live Grand restaurant or Live Grand Cafe.
Yes.
Yeah, rather Live Grand Cafe in Mall of the South, so that we can have a peace of mind,
Yes.
right? Yeah. And asiphelelanga.
Extra.
Asiphelelanga. Asiphelelanga kampela. So we decided, because this segment,
Yeah, I wanna have a qualikiwa.
yeah,
This was Mleko.
wona.
Muleko. This segment.
This one,
It was Muleko Insights.
yeah, Moliko Fontaine. Yo, habari, diabolo. The devil is just not for the segment.
Yes.
They're talking about family diversity. And I think because it is a very important topic and it concerns the youth. And you know how the devil feels about the youth because they are the future.
Yes, he was the way he was attacking. He knew that. Speaking for myself, I'll be there's so much things that I'm going to grasp from other people for myself, and people. Yo, it was too much. Hey, you devil.
Yeah.
I want to limit having. Yo, too much.
Marno, we worship the mighty God. Look at us.
Amen.
Aye,
Hallelujah.
from the glasses to the table.
Hallelujah.
I got him. I am shy.
Clean up his chest.
you know. So as Pelelanga, and we just had to make sure that we do not close this year without having to finish the segment.
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
So
eh?
good, definitely.
Yeah, we've been receiving feedback from a lot of parents, from a lot of my peers as well,
Yeah.
as to how deep this topic has
is,
been,
yes.
And I hope that today we can, continue just shedding the light from our own experiences and everything that we've learned from the past. From the past as well. So, excuse my voice. That's another thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, another attack, but then you show.
Pumpy, let me go. Pumpy, let me go.
So that's what we're
Go on.
doing. Yeah, just want to introduce myself as always, just to recap you. Ria Sia, I represent a family of both parents that I have been brought up by. That is my mom and dad. And they, let me just say, overall, the last parent passed away last year. So I've been with my parents throughout my life. And that's who Ria is, and that's where I come from. And let's continue. Carol.
And Carol, so I lived with both my parents, but ended up divorcing. I experienced both of their love. Originally from Limpopo, but now I'm staying in Joburg. So I received both of them,
Yeah.
their love,
Yeah.
and as they divorced, everything I can do is say it shattered from there.
Yeah.
Everything fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all about me.
Yeah. Cool. Let's recap on Lerato.
Okay, Sanborani. Ngolerato. And yeah, Kulise is single mother with the help Yaga Coco. So yeah, it's nice to be back.
Oh, since it's Ngapelelanga, we have another guest on the panelist. I will allow her to introduce herself and welcome.
Hi everyone. Oh, it's so nice to have a promotion.
Yes,
Because
yes.
the first segment, I was behind the scenes, and now sit under the table.
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know the things that you do in the background. It will be like elevate you. Hi everyone, listeners, YouTubers, Podbeaners. My name is Reverend Mary Ann, and I'm happy to here joining the segment. I was also raised by two parents. My parents left, actually I received their love until my mid-40s. And but also a parent again, single parent, of two boys. My first one is 26 and the other one is 2.
26. I think you stopped counting at
Oh, okay.
26.
Oh, my
You
bad.
stopped
Oh, my
counting
bad.
at 26.
He's 28.
Thank you very
so
much.
the age difference between my little ones is 26 years. And they're also boys, and I love them to bits.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah, I think because welcome to Rev Mary Ann. She will be covering a segment that Santa was supposed to cover for us, but due to unforeseen circumstances, duty calls.
Yes.
So we will hear what the Lord, as always, I like to put it, that the Lord says about family diversity and I think what's the word? Dysfunctional families, or what people will perceive as dysfunctional.
Yes.
So we also would like to hear what the Bible says, and what God says, because I think we're very much religious, and I always like to
refer back to the Bible.
Back to the Bible.
Yes.
So, to recap us on the last segment, what did we speak about, Carol?
The last segment we were talking about, Bazalan, because of state 6.
I'm not. But we cannot take them anywhere.
No,
Amen.
Hallelujah. So on the last segment, we were talking about. We ended on "Are you angry?" But I don't think it was part of the on the.
But we want to recap
from the beginning.
Yes. In the beginning. That one.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Let us start in the beginning.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we talked about social media affecting the influence of divorce and single parenting.
Yeah.
We have learned that we in this family diversity, each and every household, it is built, or the background, it's different. So we have discovered that myself, in a divorcee, social media played a role. But back in the days, I don't think it was that important. I didn't even think social media is the end thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think social media affected the single parenting and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think part of the views as well that we shared was It also is the discussion that happens behind the scenes before it even hits social media. And when it hits social media, it's just then sort of like amplified, or yeah, I don't know, it becomes like a cool thing
Yes.
because that's how it's perceived, or that's how it looks like. But it's not. It doesn't really necessarily start from social media. It's
Yes.
just that social media has a bit of influence for people to have a bit of gut to do it, you know, because they feel that they're not alone. And yeah, if that is also talked about on social media, it becomes better.
Yeah.
And we also spoke about family structures influencing decision making.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of, I know that Lerato spoke about how firstborns tend to almost think, and how they need to, think differently, and how they need to like almost have they almost have the pressures of trying to be better, so that the siblings behind them can have a better example.
Yeah.
And I remember Santa sharing as well, saying that he was like upright, but but his brother almost sort of like broke, I don't know, tradition or
Tradition
the
of
rules.
yes.
Yeah. And he also then started loosening up and started being more himself and not really
Himself,
putting
yeah.
that much pressure. I remember Bongani talked about the pressures that, he feels that his mom is looking on him to be a better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of like you could say firstborns, they are the deputy parents.
Yes.
So we,
yes,
the followers, we look up to the firstborns.
yeah.
So that like a channel of way of us how to behave, how to look up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if they do this, we also do this because we learn from them. Yes.
And what else?
We also talked about the burden
Mm.
from the family structure. Yo, I never heavy. It's
Yeah.
actually heavy, that one, because I remember sharing that the burdens that come with the family structure, it's too much. Yeah, I don't know how to put it, but the structure that we are brought up in, it's affecting us. For me, I could say, we what we know is church. You don't know Mujaivo and have to Groover. You
Yeah.
know Mujaivo and church.
And that's it.
That's it.
And you don't get to explore, or I don't want to say explore, but live a life that is full circle,
It's you can't say explore, because if the family structure is church, you're narrowed into that. So you cannot make decisions for yourself because of the structure of the family. So if Ufana Nati, your preacher's kids, Melogreso, you're not supposed to do anything out of church. You're not allowed to do anything out of church.
Yeah.
If you do Netimon,
Yeah.
they start laying hands on you. They call all the elders.
You like, hey, no tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's sort of like, while you're bringing that, because we're just refreshing before we bring in our panel, I think it sort of like narrows the way you think as well. You're not streetwise. I think that part for me that brings the burden is, I always say, and I want to always reiterate it, that I'm full Christian. I am a Christian myself, I've been brought up in church. I've been in church. But when I speak about it, I want us to speak about it in a way that it also bring in the youth to know that it's okay. It's okay to go clubbing, come back, bath, go to church. It's okay. I mean, it's part of life. It's part of life exploring and finding yourself. But finding yourself in a way that you can balance, and that's why you find that more and more Christian-based people as well, they find themselves in depression because of all the pressures of the world that they put themselves in.
Yeah.
You can't drink, you can't party, you can't jola.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
for one,
Yeah.
I'm like that, or I was like that after the segments, because it's that thing that you are narrowed, you grow into church. So if I go date, if I go clubbing,
Yo, awungena
akusentana
ezulwini.
kaNkulunkulu.
Awungeni.
Ah,
Awungeni ezulwini
yo.
wena.
So it's
It's a burden.
it's a burden that it's heavy, because now
Mhm.
you're supposed to portray something that you're not, even though that we are full on Saturdays, on Fridays, and then go back to church and sing. You
Yeah,
understand?
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's a burden, because we need to paint this picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I represent.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not a bad thing to represent, but we also allow to explore.
Yeah. I think for me, do jump in if you want to add something, Lorata, if you want to add something there, and you are welcome to. I think the burden comes in how can we make also the church become youth friendly, because I think sometimes we also dwell in grandparents and parents friendly church,
Yes.
and the youth are like, yeah, fine, I wasn't telling you no zam, and then
Yeah.
it becomes heavy on
becomes
you,
heavy.
So I think those are the other burdens that we need to maybe be streetwise,
Yeah.
in terms of it's for also the future of the youth,
Yes.
the
Yes.
future of the youth is if we become more, not, I don't want to say accommodating, but I don't know how can I put it, so that they are more involved.
The burden should be lessened for us. Like you should kancane, so that we can
Subside.
explore this for ourselves and know that God still loves us no matter what.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, Uguti. Yes, I'm going to clubbing. The next thing I'm at church.
Kanjani? So
How?
How
How does it come to be? How does it come to be?
What is that?
So I think we should allow ourselves to explore and lessen the burden for ourselves, so that we receive us for us, and God can also accept and use us. It's fine if we use it. It's still okay.
True. When you talk about the burden, and I always feel that the church sometimes it moves away, in terms of people or young people experiencing grace, because being in Christ is all about grace. And when my fact is that I'm also a pastor, and we tend to exclude young people, that we make church not to be relatable to them, and so that they find the church to be boring and it's too uptight, and yet, but if we make sure that the church is relatable to them and we involve them as well, and while we're involving them, we also want to hear their views, because my thinking is that we can learn from one another. Doesn't really mean that when you are older you have the supremacy, and you cannot learn from the young. There's a lot of examples that I can make in terms of learning from the young. I mean, look at the story of Saul and David as well. David was young, but he was more wiser. So it's those things that we need to have. Both of us have teachable spirit as well, in terms of accommodating, one another, and, opening up the atmosphere, to be more relatable to the upcoming generation, because at the end of the day, what, we're going to leave this earth, and they're going to be, the one that taking over. So I think that is the burden whereby you find that you are being challenged, or you are being pressured in terms of, doing right, and you find the church being, a place where you are more condemned, and the word of God says, if you are in Christ, therefore for there is no condemnation. But I think sometimes we say those scriptures because, probably we want to redeem ourselves from something, but that we also forget to, practicalize it in terms of, you can still be a youth, and, yes, you fall and then you rise up. Even the Bible says we fall down and we rise up. Fall 6 times and then you rise up. And what also that is important that the church needs to understand is that God never used the perfect people. He never used perfect people. I mean, you can look at the story of Moses. Moses was not perfect. He was a murderer, but then God used him. greatly and mightily. David as well. We can go on and on. Jacob, he ended up being rich, but he had his faults. And even when you check the characters of all Christ disciples, they were all dysfunctional. They all had their own burden. I mean, like Peter suffered from anger. He needed anger management. So it's diverse. And I think what the Bible is teaching us is that everyone has their own flaws, and for us to be welcoming and accommodating, and yet at the same time be able to. And also the Bible encourages us that when somebody has fallen, don't be quick to to laugh at them, because the same that they've fallen, it could fall upon you. So I think the burden that we put on young generation, upcoming generation, the youth, is that we always remind them of sin, and what is preached at church is like, no, you drunk, you're smoking, but to be quite honest, we never even speak about sexual immorality. We always cover that, and how much of sexual immorality that happens in the church, and yet it is not all only done by the youth, but elderly people who are married. So but we overshadow all these other sins or whatsoever by putting those that are evident, that no, hey, I saw Pastor Mary and she was sipping wine, or she was sitting next to the bar, those are, visible, physical, they are visible, but then those that are hidden.
Okay. Okay, there's a difference between church and e-groove. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Gonna difference between a church and a groove. A groove name, there's service delivery, right? Obviously we pay to have ujwala, yabana, and everything, entrance fee. So our opinions, the grooving, they are heard. But, yeah, I understand. So esontweni ayikho all of that. You understand?
Powerful.
Like, yeah. Esontweni, you can say amasofa lawaya awekho right. I'll just say kolekan in egruvini. Ay lamasofa lawa, okay, sisi hamuhlala kulesa spot lesa. Complain yakho sesizwile whatsoever da. You understand? So somehow there's a huge difference between church and groove. A groove, even if you can get drunk on a Friday and go back, nobody's gonna judge you.
Yeah.
You can drink as much as you want. You can party as much as you want. Exactly. So yeah, with church you need to be somebody different. You have to have maybe label nyana for status. But somehow I think esontweni they have to give us a platform where we can express ourselves, where we can be able to opinion to issue, because most of us church dropouts, we prefer groove. We prefer groove.
Preach it, girl.
More than it's gonna drop out. So we prefer groove more than church, because of groove we best attend a church.
Yeah, and you're not being
nobody
judged.
gives a F about you.
That is powerful. That is powerful.
What?
Yeah, I'm still mind blown.
Yeah,
You understand?
I'm goosebummy. And today I promised myself that I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna use the word profound. So I'm gonna try not to use that word for today. But that is very powerful though, because you're right. You're so right that the youth want to be heard. That's the only thing that they want,
To be heard.
To be heard. And that's why they will hang out with their friends. They will hang out in places where they will be heard, whether it's groove, whether it's strateni, or a corneni.
Somehow,
views.
I even think you are valued there. You have some sense of that you have value. You're not being
Yes.
judged. You understand?
Yeah. And I think if we can think church like groove, not in a groove way, but in terms of the principles, that's a grooving. If they're able to say, "I'll go comfortable with the sofa," it's fine. We'll move it. And next time when you go there, they renovate. You understand? They renovate, and they will tell you guys that renovate so that money is the next time. You know,
Yes.
kunamatimi, all white, kunamapiano, like change, refreshed. And I think sometimes the church sometimes can be so traditional that it doesn't want to evolve. Even the situation, even the not the situation, but even though the times have changed, they still want this one to limit 3 hours, whereas it's no longer necessary to make it 3 hours. It can be 2 hours and people can hear you, you know?
Finish.
Claro.
Yeah, we don't have to go 6 hours. Imagine. Which is... I'm a makeup.
Yeah, so but
which it's taking us to our next point, communication.
Yeah.
I think above all, the overall word or that we can put on top, it's communication. We need to communicate. Whether young and old or young, we need to communicate. We need to be heard.
Yeah.
We need to be heard.
And while you're talking about communication, I also feel that I'm just looking at churches after COVID. You know, now while now we're talking about church, I just want to put it, throw it in there, that they've not evolved, even though COVID has requested us and forced us to evolve. You know, they still go back; they're still the same. So that means nobody's learning another way of communicating, another way of listening to people.
Yes, to people.
And I feel that COVID had forced us as families to communicate.
Like it or not. Like
Because
it or
we
not.
Yes, because we were
Compound.
Yes, we were confounded in our houses, and we needed to communicate. But geez, we still struggle with communication, guys.
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
somehow we are ignorant, or it's a stagnation within? It's ignorance.
Yeah,
It's a stagnation that I cannot say it's. Do you think it's scary? Because we cannot say COVID happened and you're still stuck in the same mind.
No, there's absolutely no way.
So it's ignorance then.
Yeah, I think so. So I think everybody knows that we need to start communicating amongst ourselves. Parents, they see, you know, I feel that I received quite a lot of feedback from parents. I received quite a lot of feedback from this segment, from youth and the people that have gone through being raised by single parents, being brought up by teen moms, being brought up by both parents, grandparents, and all of that. But people are still scared to communicate, and you find like mothers will still say, "Oh," and then, "Now my child is very angry," and it's like, okay, you can see your child is very angry. What can you do? You know. And I think that's what we want to talk about today, in continuation of our segment. Are we angry? If you are coming from a divorced family, are you angry? If you are coming from brought up by both parents, are you angry at the certain things? If you are coming from being raised by grandparents, are you also angry about certain things because maybe you're an orphan, or maybe because of other circumstances? I don't know.
Yes.
But you know, are we angry? Are we angry?
I'll just speak from a parent perspective, and also, you know, my perspective as also a parent. I'll speak, you know, for both my son probably and myself as well, while being a single parent. You know, to be quite honest, I was a teen mom as well, because I was still at school doing my matric, have to raise him. And yes, my dad was angry at me, And there was this anger and this tension in the house, whereby, when the child is crying, and then my dad said to my mom, "You're not helping her." And I think for me as well, probably they did, those feelings they did harbor in me, because there was a point in time whereby, probably in his 10 months, and then, his dad and we broke up, and, I had to go to varsity. While I was varsity, I learned that he just got married. And I think there was this anger, in me, that when I heard that, I remember that my mom was helping me, that, what, we are going to file for breach of promise, because this person, he promised to marry me, and then now we broke up, and now, I have to, raise this child by myself. And then, wow, I hear from the grapevine now he's getting married and he forgot about us. There was a point in time I had that anger within me. And you know how you find out that you're still angry? It's when you can't have a civil conversation with that person. Like, whenever, you need to communicate and talk about him or to him about the child, like, there's this rage inside you, like, ugh, like, kill you, and all that. I did, like, have a realization with that, but at the same time, it's up to you to let go, because, while you're still angry at them, they've moved on with their lives, and then he has a new wife, and you're stuck. Your life is stuck, But gradually, I had to, release it, and it helped me a lot, because after releasing it, I could see where I'm going, with life myself, and then I was able to pursue my personal life. And, the one of the learnings that I'm talking about my son, that the anger that he had, because I remember every time, whenever now, okay, he's reconciled with his dad, he would go there, visit and whatsoever. When he comes back, he would always ask me questions. But mom, why did dad didn't give you the flowers like my stepmom, like, obviously it's the bouquet, and I think he was, saying to us still 7, 8, 9ish, and I would like give him, and I'm like, no, because your dad married her and blah blah, but why didn't he give it to you? But probably then I could not even, register that was, an element of anger, a cry out for anger. And, at the same time, while, growing up, and then, the dad will promise him things that he will not even fulfill, and, then there were stages whereby now he started, like, there's the void inside him. Whenever he goes there, he feels that he's not given more attention than, his siblings, and that was harboring inside him. And started, I remember there was a time that he started using substances. No, when we found out, okay, fine, I had to take him for counseling and all that, why? And, every time, whenever he speaks, his cry out was like, no, I just feel rejected by my family, my dad's family. And I try so much, to fit in, but I'm always been that, child that, is an outcast or whatsoever. I'm always being that son that is not good enough. They've gone to better schools, private schools, whatsoever. And, yes, as much as I gave him the best education ever, gave him love, he had, he was loved because he had more father figure than them, his siblings. But because your parents are your parents, and you still need that belonging. Your family is your family. You want that belonging. You want that embracement. You want to be embraced, to be loved, to be shown that we care about you, to be applauded and all that. And he was missing that. And now he was saying that one of the causes, for him to react that way, it's because of the abandonment, So, yeah, it's just, there is that anger, you have anger, but until you have the realization of, letting go, and then that's where your life gets better.
So let's communicate. Let's communicate with our parents, guys. Let us communicate. Say what is in your mind. Voice out your pain. Voice out your hurt. That it's a way of you letting go, and you become more at peace. You understand? If you have said, mama, unchikile for no reason, I don't understand why you did it. The more you voice out, I believe that the more you voice your hurt or your pain, somehow you connect instantly and healing happens naturally. I can say that.
Okay, communication with the parent, guys, it's not easy. One, you can say, "I, mom, uyangilimaza, shy," and then the next time, most of the with mom, uyangilimaza, uzokushaya futhi. So somehow that on its own, you again uvalele wonke ama feelings wakho. You understand, and you grow up being angry. You are angry at everyone around you. You understand? And also, it's not just you being angry at everyone. You are also angry at yourself because the only way who's expressing a corner like it's safe to say youth yonke manje we express ourselves when we are drunk.
True.
Than when we are sober. Motagiwe uyakwazi ukukhuluma. You know, express yourself. Hi, yo, ngifila this way, ngifila that way, or when you are high. You understand? And yeah, because I feel like it's this thing yokuthi umuntu odakiwe ukhuluma amasoba thoughts wakhe. Then yeah. So ikanjalo. It's not easy just to mama yazi izolo. This thing or mama ngifila this way, mama this, mama it's not easy. You just not gonna wake up one day and just say mama sengiyahamba mama sengikhulile sengifuna ukuya because uma ukubona yeza umntana omncane like unana kuye emehlweni like we all are. And communication for most yabantu, it happens especially for girls, it happens when there's a baby coming. That's when you start communicating nomzali wakho, mama I'm pregnant. Communication can izovuleka. Mama ori because sex guys it's not it's not
on the table.
Yeah,
we cannot discuss that. No.
So usekhuluma already when you have a child. Uya nini ekliniki ngizokhapha. Nangumntwana ngizokhapha. Kane uza uthando lomzali mase kumoshakele.
Yeah. That hurts though. That is painful.
Uthando lomzali sekumoshakele ekubeni you had the whole time njengoba abantwana bamitha bana 15 manje. Where is the parent? Every weekend uhambile uyadriver, uhambile uyohlala nabani ubani ungakekelana.
Yeah.
Because I'm a 2000 manje, they are able to express themselves. They talk.
Yes.
Than teen. That's how also teenage pregnancy became so high.
So high, yeah.
Guma 90s. Because I'm a parent bangakhuluma nathi.
Yeah, this is too much. Parents, allow us to communicate with you, please.
Oh man. I'm just like
mind blown.
Yeah. Sure.
Profound.
I want to say that, but I'm like, not today. This is so cool. This is so eye-opening for me because I think it's also helping me as a parent. You know, I think I had that thought to myself because my son is now going to high school. And I'm like, oh, Pele high school, I love that. High school.
No child's play.
Asita ngomuntu. Kumele umzali abe present.
Whether you like it or not. This is where you have to be involved as a parent.
Yes. And I was thinking this to myself. I was saying, you know what? I really need to do self-introspection or inventory by now choosing when to go, where to go, and when to come back. Does that make sense? Because now I need to now be even more present because I know for a fact that my son will now be exposed to more things and more thoughts, and adolescence is on its way, and it cannot happen while I'm busy groovy. It cannot happen. I was like, guys,
It
I was
can't
serious. I
happen
was
like
talking to
that.
myself. I was like, sister we-woke. Is uvula abantu amehlo. Nawe kuzokuhelpa. Nawe kuzokuhelpa shem ukuthi uqalele manje uvula amehlo akho ukuthi I mean really, you are 36. You're a mother. When are you gonna realize that you're a mother? I'm like, I don't understand, you know. Singakhohliswa imizimba, singakhohliswa Instagram, singakhohliswa impilo ye social media. Where people are checking in, where people are checking out, or they are, you know, they're always busy doing nice things. Ezinhle, I'm not taking anything away from anyone because I've been there, I've done that. But now I'm like so sober because I'm like, now I need to be sober minded. And yes, I will check in there. I need to check out as quick as possible so that I'm able to be with my kids.
With your kids,
because another mistake that we do, even though our parents were doing it, they were going to work. You understand? But she is sort of because they were going to work.
Yes.
But because now we are also well educated, COVID has taught us to be working from home and things like that. We now need to be conscious. No, now it's not because I'm out because of work. I'm out there partying. I'm out there having a good time. Am I spending enough time with my children? Am I spending enough time so that I don't get to the kids where they sit here and like, but you could have spoken to me before I was pregnant at 15.
Yeah.
You could have been present before I started exploring on substances, or you know,
That's
you get me?
It's a question that I wanted to pose on parents, that because in your ages, I believe that it was not easy communicating with your parents as they were strict. You couldn't say mama, you couldn't talk back like as it is now. So I wanted to pose on the young mothers of your age that now, are you willing, as much as it didn't happen with your parents, are you guys willing to sit down with your children and say, boy, as you say that now you need to be more careful? Are you willing to sit down with your boy and say, communicate, and him having to express?
I think it's not being unable to communicate. Communication is one part, but being present is another. Do you get me? So what do I mean is, if I say to you, Lerato, drinking is not good for you, but I'm communicating this, you share your views, then I go clubbing, I come back at 5, and what happens between that time? Who's present? Yes, the rule is there, but who's present? It's like, that's why we have police and metro police. You can't drink and drive, you can't drive without a license. The rules are there, but if you're not present, you're not license to drive. So committing crime if I'm a poisa. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So it's that we also, as much as we are communicating, we need to also start being present parents in our kids now, so that we don't sit and go through this issue that we're talking about, that our kids are angry. Do you get me? Let's not, you know, while I'm talking about this, there is a certain celebrity that just recently got divorced. I'm not taking anything away. I'm not saying anything, but the level of, look how sexy I am. Look how, you know, it's like I'm living. I'm pushing through. I am within, ne? But forgetting that you are being an absent parent. It's great. It's great that you're showing us pictures on the Instagram. It's great that your followers. It's great that you're getting money. But just know that you are creating a little demon. A demon that will come from, my parents were divorced. My mom was not present. My mom was busy looking cool on Instagram because she did not have epiphany of saying, geez, this is life that I'm talking about. This is a child's life that I need to look at. And it's not even about the hype of me being known or being beautiful or being hot. Guys, we've been hot. We've been hot, guys. How hotter can you be? at 35, you should start now saying, hey, but wait, I'm hot. Hot, I get it. Now it's like, yes, I look nice. I look after myself. I look after my well-being. But I'm not chasing being hot. I'm chasing being beautiful and keeping my inner self, uplifted. But not forgetting that I'm a parent and I need to be present in my kid's life. The one thing about social media that is creating as a demon is kids will have a reference point.
Born.
They will look at your YouTube. They will look at your Instagram. They will look at all your social media, your TikTok.
That one.
Busy, looking funny. We are laughing. But you are creating a little demon that can always go back and reference. Where were you? I show no busy na TikTok. I show no busy pose on bikini.
How beautiful you are.
Yes. Forgetting to give me love. Forgetting to look after me and being present. Forgetting to sacrifice. I don't want to say sacrifice. I don't want to say sacrifice, but I want to say sometimes I feel this generation is not fighting for togetherness like our parents did, but finding the media line. I mean, I always say I'll be delusional if I thought that my parents they were married for 38 years before my dad passed, that they did not have problems. I'll be delusional. I'll be sick in my head. I'll be like, I need to get checked.
Yes.
You understand? Don't you think that they went through their fair share of issues, but they found a middle line of, I want to do this, and I want to fight for my marriage, and I don't care who says what. I don't care who does what. I will fight for it. Do you get me? So my concern, just to answer you quickly, is we just need to be more present. I think we are communicating very well, but we are not present to make sure that the law is abided to.
Yeah, Ria, I think I agree with you about presence. You know what? Our parents, even though they never communicated, but they were present. They were so present. Now my dad, I'll tell you that he would wake up 2 a.m. and do stock taking. We would used to call it stock taking because he would go to each and every room and see that you are there in your bed sleeping. He used to do stock taking. So like he was very much present with, okay, you are sleeping, all of you. Okay, probably, because our parents would sleep early, 7 o'clock already, they've already locked themselves in their bedroom. And then when now you're sitting there watching TV, stock also count. 2 a.m. Are you here opening a window? As much as they were not, communicating, but they were very much present. They'll open your school bag, and especially my dad was present, and my dad was very smart. You could see why he was an educator. He was very smart. He had his way of finding out things. Because he would just go to your room and take them out and wash the school bag. Just to check with you, cigarette or you think that he's washing your bag nicely. He's checking, so they were present. So hence, I agree, with Ria that, what, I think what is more important with us is that we need to be more present because we do communicate, with them, especially now as the younger ones. You do communicate. And okay, what's bothering you? For the fact that when you are able to communicate and they voice out, and then you're able to take them to psychologists, to voice out, and you tell them, whatever that you talk to the psychologist, it's, in confidence. I don't even have to know about it. If you feel that you're not free to talk about other things or certain things with me, we are. But then, because now when they go clubbing, we don't go with them. And at the same time, you need to be present that now you're able to observe, okay, fine. For the past month or so, he's been coming back at 4, a.m. You need to be present, you lock that, even though sometimes they have their keys, because mine has his own key, but sometimes, what, just do it deliberate. I just put my key, then he has to knock. It's my house, I still show you that I'm present, and then I'm like, hey, you can't come to my house this time. But then while you're opening the door, you still, the presence of checking him out. Is he high? Does he look high or whatsoever? I think those are the things that probably, we need to, as young parents, but be more present. I agree with Ria on that point.
Ew, guys, abazali.
You know, Rato hits with bombs.
Abazali. Yo, guys, that's head.
It bias hurt a girl.
Yo, that's head, Hashem.
And the anger is coming from you.
That's head, okay. Okay, i-present abazali. Okay, I think sibona sesibadala sikulate. I-present yomzali so mama la bekayenza so la bekayenza so la bekayenza so. Okay, because mine bega yi-teenage mom, so she had to work and ngizohlala nokhokho, sometimes no gogo yabona. So I wanted her to be there, but now because I'm old, I understand better ukuthi why bekangekho. I had to have clothes, I have to eat, I have to go to school, I have to have books, I have to have everything like a child should have. Yeah, I understand. So back then it used to make me angry because my mom agekho. Abantu mabaya, like, let's say guma graduations whatsoever, my mom was so good agekho. I want my mom to be there, not to go. You understand? And now senkhulile, I understand better that akakwazanga ukuza because she's working. She yaban gamele ngidle next month. If akayanga today, wathatha day off, angashong babazomxosha. What was I gonna eat? You understand? So yeah, it's safe to say her being absent and her being present at the same time made me angry, but it made me also to understand. Yeah, you're like I must give you a gunshot, but I'm hoping you understand, and it also teaches you. Yeah, but more cooler. You also have to open your mind about. You have to be open-minded about everything, because now, let's say, she was present, behanga sebenzi that time. It's an issue.
Yeah.
She Nami, maybe at the age of 16, I was gonna go to Echo's things. Yeah, I understand. So I can provide the both of us or everybody in you. Yeah, I understand. So somehow it helps. Yeah. It like tingiti her working also helped me. At a younger age. Because I still have to explore. She didn't get the chance to be up. Then when I drive, I can't drive a man because this school song, and I get commentos of in no, we are all grown up now. So yeah, I think if we, it helped.
Yeah, and I think just talking about this whole anger situation, I think the one thing that I want to touch base on, back to what Mary Ann was saying, was there is that underlying anger that you do not know it's there, that you do not know exists, because you almost want to say, no, it's fine, but it's not fine.
Yeah.
I remember when you said that you've made peace with your parents' divorce, and I said to you,
Which piece?
like, what do you mean you made peace?
With what?
Yeah, because making peace is I'm putting it under a shelf and I don't want to discuss it. Or I remember, I remember there was what we call Truth Commission. Yes, there was what we call Truth Commission after post-apartheid. After apartheid, they had to do what we call Truth Commission, where they call it, you had to reconcile. It's for really reconciliation. So what happened was, all the people that would have killed, all the people that were active comrades at that time, right? And then they would call their families, and they would do that whole
confession.
that thing, Yes. So they will bring the person that murdered your partner, your dad, or whoever member that they murdered. So they will call them, and they'll be like that, those commissioners, and then you would come and you ask for forgiveness, right? That no, you'll explain how you killed this person, ukuthi nimlahlele kuphi at that
Yes.
time, and all of that, and it was so painful. It was so painful to watch that, because families were crying. Because some of the families was the only time that they started finding out where the bones of their loved ones were,
Yes.
and they needed to forgive the person. And even though they thought that they forgave the person, but when you see them now sitting in next to you, it's a total different story.
Yeah.
It brings that anger
The
back,
anger,
you
the
know.
resentment that
Yes,
it was within.
Yeah. So I always say, we can say we've forgiven our parents, or we can say we're not angry about a certain thing.
Yeah.
But the truth is, have you reconciled? And reconciliation is being able to talk about a certain issue freely, and you are able to forgive the person based on what they say, and you are able to, confront the situation, right?
Yes.
And that's why I feel that we still have angry parents that are looking after angry kids. Double the anger in the family. You understand?
Yeah.
Same thing that Mary Ann was saying. I'm angry that your dad didn't marry me, decided to marry another person, whereas they promised to marry me. I'm angry at that, and we have not spoken about it. I almost have to swallow it. I'm like, okay, all right. But I have not really dealt with that issue as to why that happened. I'm angry,
Yes.
And now I'm also sitting with the angry child that is like, yeah, but my dad was not there, and you, mom, you're working, or you were and why do I have to be raised by a single parent? And why this one has a new family and I don't? And why is one deserving of a father and I don't? I'm not deserving of a father. And why am I staying with my grandparents whereas my siblings are staying elsewhere? So it's an angry circle.
Yeah.
And if you are a grandparent, you are also angry that my child has brought shame into the family, and you have not dealt with that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Or what is perceived as shame? You have not dealt with that, so you are angry with your child, and then you are sort of like supplementing the grandchild ngokubuthando that you couldn't now translate it back to your own child. So you're overcompensating your grandchild because you couldn't confront issues with your child. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So the whole family is angry. And I would really like to advise families that are in those dynamics whereby the mother or the father, because we also have fathers that are staying with their kids.
Definitely.
And the girlfriend or their wives or whoever have left them, so we also have that. But I would really advise that I think we should start seeing those psychologists, seeing those psychiatrists and all of social workers, so that I can deal, as a parent, I can deal with my own anger, so that I'm able to save my child from their anger, and we can have an open discussion, and we can sort of like find a way, and that's why you find parents are dismissive. If a child's like, but why me, why my dad, hey, me I'm child, hey, because hey, drama. You understand? And then the child is not answered, and the child almost like is left to, okay, I need to figure it out.
So song
Because
is
of that
vanger.
anger.
On the big. The children, the grandchildren, grr. Aye. It's saddening because now it's going to be a generational thing that all of us we're supposed to be in
Yeah.
the family.
Yeah.
Let's deal with our issues.
Yeah.
We need to deal with our issues, and as you said, for me, yeah. Did I make peace then with what? Because
Yeah.
there was no a platform where I was given to say what is troubling you,
Yeah.
what is wrong with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, even if now I say I bring it up, it's gonna be a whole of issue now. It's gonna start. Yeah,
Yeah.
you understand,
Mm.
and now you understand. For she hasn't dealt with her anger,
Yes.
and now I'm bringing anger,
Yeah.
and I'm angry.
Yes. It's an angry fontaine. Angry association. You know? And it, guys, it's really sad. I mean, I follow the social media, and I introspected for myself, as well as to what is happening and what kind of little demons we are creating.
Definitely.
How parents will publicly talk about and his father and his mother, it's really sad, because the person that is a true victim here is the one that will also grow up and be angry, and the circle keeps on growing. So I really wish that as parents we can be able to go back to our kids and go back to our wounds as well, so that we are able to change. Let's change the situation. Yes, let's change the narrative. That's a nice word. Let's change the narrative. What if you are divorced? Start now taking your child to a counseling. Start now co-parenting. Co-parenting for the sake of your child, coexisting for the sake of this little person that you've brought on earth. And they've got high expectations. I still feel that families, we can still have diverse families, but families that are healed. For me, I'm not saying stay together and fight it through. I'm saying heal as a family, so that the person that omkhulisayo is also a better person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think parents, before they divorce, they should be able to talk to their kids and say, guys, this is the situation. Go for counseling as a family. Go for counseling as a mother, child, a father, child, and go to counseling as a parents on their own before this whole thing is finalized, and co-parent. And do it for the kids. I think we can still have happy kids if we are healed.
Wenaria, when you talk about co-parenting, I think it's one of the things that I realized that I've moved on and I've healed. And I remember there was a point in time when Ria said to me, wow, Mom Kulu, you know what? Whatever that is happening around you and Tulana's dad and family, it's so profound that we are able to sit in one room.
We're not using the word profound today.
Oh, okay, fine. But I'm using it. I'm using it. 3 years back, then when my son now decides that, you know what, Mom, I'm working, I just want to do Thanksgiving. And then he said, you know what, but then I want my father and my entire family from my father's side to be part of it. And you know what, yes, I informed them, this is what your son is doing. And it's our family and their family and my new family that I've built, So it's this diversity in terms of, okay, that's my, my family is in my immediate family, my sisters, my siblings, and then it's my partner and our, the little one, Mr. Little One, and that's my eldest with his, paternal, the aunt, everybody was there and they came, but, we're able to, to sit around the table, I won't even say that we're tolerating one another. It was not about tolerance, but then we were just embracing one another. We're just comfortable enough because there was so much peace, sitting in one table. And then I remember my sister said to me, you know what, I really, really, really admire what is happening. I wish that so many black families could adapt this, that it is possible that, you know what, you sit around the table with your ex and his family, his new family, and with your new family. And it's possible to sit under, one roof, sit on a table, enjoy lunch or enjoy dinner, and be peaceful at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are also co-parenting so that nobody gets, feel that they are being outlined or outcast. And I remember there was a time that, the same family come to my parents' house, and then the day, because he's my ex, but he was like, hugging me, talking to me, and I just want to show you the difference between the generational gap in terms of our parents and us. And the wife was there, and then he was just like, because now he's my, like, what, my son is his firstborn. So like we were talking, and then he's embracing me, hugging me, we're talking, and my mom was like, no, can't do that. You can't do that. The wife would think that now you're getting back together. Like, mom, we're over each other. So sometimes, our parents, they still like, oh, I was going to cover umuntu. And the wife was there, didn't really mind. And we also have a very good communication because most of the things I take it through her so that she would take to the husband. And you're like, umuntu wakho uqalile. The wife would say, his husband is umuntu wami. I'm like, that's your person. It's muntu wako mina. I couldn't, I couldn't stand the hot pots, The most important is about co-parenting and just finding healing. And find healing, and then when you have found healing, stop being in denial, deal with those issues, because you must also remember that it's for the betterment of the child.
Yeah. Wow. I think we're good.
Randa has something to say.
Yeah,
just give the mic to Randa.
I know she is like she is deep. She's almost like a reflector. She's very deep. So definitely, let's give her a mic.
Yo, yo, guys. Okay. When it comes to counseling as a family, now I don't think it works. Because at the end of the day, ngizokhuluma nosis Rea, nosis Rea hamba yatshela umama ukuthi oh lerate uthi. So I don't see the use of counseling in a family, whereas we can have lunch and you can ask me questions. If I'm uncomfortable answering those, we can just skip the question and then we understand. So yeah, I don't think counseling helps in a family. And
I almost knew what she was going to say because because I feel like I've experienced it.
Yeah.
The problem with I don't know if it's counseling, choice of words, and the approach.
Yeah.
Something's not working fairly.
Okay.
Something is not working with having to pour out our issues to the family.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Mama, I don't understand why you're angry with me having to be befriend with the stepmom. You're going to eat me. Already you eating me, mentioning the stepmother.
My main question.
You didn't.
Yeah.
But already.
Which means I'm befriender. What about me?
So how do we go about that? I knew what she was going to say. I knew it. It does, and not to say it doesn't work or it won't work, but I feel like let us not misinterpret or you understand your interpret a question in your own way. For no reason, just because I mentioned stepmother. So you feel like your anger I don't know if something can you please
I think I think it works. You know, I haven't been in one per se directly, but I sat in one or yeah, But I think it gives you the strength to ask the question because I never pam out clap you understand? So the only issue is the participants are the ones that are not willing to participate. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So the counselor is there is let's participate, but without overly hitting each other, without opening the door and leaving. You understand? Because sometimes that is opening the door and leaving. And sometimes you don't know if you're a straight talker like myself. Sometimes you don't know how to rephrase the question.
You just ask it the way it
Is
is.
this orange? And you want me to rephrase. At that time, I'm not gonna say, it's not probably orange. It's probably coral, or maybe it's almost yellow. But I'm not that person. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But a counselor can lead you or coach you to find another way of asking that question. Does that make sense? And you're almost like stuck, And the only reason why it's not working, it's the participants that don't want to participate in the process or engage in the process.
It takes me back to what you were saying. That it goes back to what you were saying, that parents, it's like opening a can of worms, right? So they are still angry with themselves, with their parents. So now when we bring it up, you just see it do you understand? And I think that's why you think that it's not working, because they haven't dealt with their own anger issues. So that's why I think also it's not working.
Okay. I attended a counseling before. Number one. Okay, I don't know if Begu Yimi or Begu CC, but Imets wasn't balancing. Imets paying a balance of her because she would give me activities. Today, Bala go to Wayukwatini. How would I know what's in Kwateleni? Because you were supposed to be there to help me understand why you got it. Masa waiting pale, because I want to express myself. I want to talk. I want to to find out because it's like yinile enkwatisai. You understand? So if I bala and you still want me to read it. You
become more angry.
Hey, why you think pale? Why you think pale?
But that is that. Because remember, a counselor, when you're coming to a counselor, it's like you're coming to a place where this person doesn't know. You understand? So their job is to make sure, or is to lure you, or to bring out the best in you in knowing yourself, because they don't have the answer. They cannot say no. They can't tell you to ukwateleni. They can understand that you're saying yes in kwatile. Okay, they get it, but why? And when you write it down, it's for you to reflect it. You understand? So that they can find the underlying condition. Because as human beings, we're easy to talk. If you ask me now in Kwatelen, I can take something superficial. But no, and like really, it's superficial. But the thought behind is, I feel that people are not noticing me. And you happen to be one of the people that I feel that you should be noticing me, but you are not. And therefore, I become angry at that. You understand? And now you find the answer. It's not Utagbulisang. It's you feel that you are not noticed as a person. Do you understand? That's why middle child syndrome, because everybody's for the firstborn and everybody's for the lastborn, and there's this person in between that, no, this person looks strong, sharp, who's right, you understand? And then like, notice me. That's why they would do all that extreme things. So supposed to say, Lona, we are one extreme. Mama ti saga right, you are left. You understand? It's okay. I'm like, this child. And they would call it a middle child syndrome because everybody's giving attention to everybody else except for the one in the middle. You understand? That's why they'll be the most quiet if they are quiet, or they'll be the most out there because they're trying to say, you're gonna notice me, you're gonna give me attention.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's one of those things. There's a joke that I like to do, when people would like to say, oh, so ubani wena? Oh, yabona yamazi, umereni yamazi, isetho ngaliva. Wena, because remember my parents moved. My mom got my sister sahlale welcome. Then my brothers sprayed, and then mina boom ngavele force the You understand? Umntana ogcina. And people are like, probably at that time now they were not also visiting their family or what,
Yeah.
There's that thing ukuthi ikhona nje last born and discomfort with because it's about 4. I don't know. But I always say I'm not going to feel long as you are,
Yeah.
because I know but last born at some point maybe as you because I'm sometimes because bazomjudge ukuthi umntana is 4, umntana is 3. People would judge you from those things. So sometimes that or nomntana omunye futhi, sometimes you're like, ish, I don't want to go public or whatever. So there's those things, hey? Yeah, I think we are good.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think we are good.
Yeah, let's just hear a bit what is with this segment in this 5 minutes that we are left with. I'm just reminded of the story of Jesus Christ okay, I'm taking her words, but I just should probably have more words than me. I want us to look at the story of Jesus Christ a bit, that it's possible for us to come from dysfunctional families and become isolated and have people not believing in you, but at the same time you can still be successful. I'm not sure what is the story of David. I'm not sure, but I don't remember hearing there was a mother there, but I'm not sure if there was. I still need to read my Bible. I will do that. But the father was like there, was so present, Maybe I'm not sure, but there's a story of Moses. So yeah, tell us.
Our host has already taken all my gums.
We are pool.
She just taken every word out of my mouth.
There's no
She's
way.
the host anyway. She is, she's more in tune because the vision is hers. I think while we're still talking, in terms of family diversity, the first family in the Bible, the family of Adam and Eve, Abel and Cain, it was also a dysfunctional family with so much diversity as well. Because of the parents, lived in sin and there was sibling rivalry there, and they lost their home, and the other brother killed the other brother. It was just one of the families that, it takes us back to, also the family of one of the families that were also dysfunctional. She's already spoken about, Jesus. I would just say what my point would be there, that he was born illegitimate,
Yeah.
He was an illegitimate child. His mother was unmarried. His father, Joseph was threatening to divorce, Mary in secret. It's a diversity in the family as well. So it was already been there before time and while we are still living within, and he was also an outcast, by the society and all that. He was cut off from family as well. And, the last family that I wanted to... Okay, the one family that I wanted to make, an example, it's the family of Jacob. It was also dysfunctional. It was diverse on its own. He had 2 wives, the other 10 brothers and the 2, and he loved the second wife more than the first one. And it caused, competition amongst the wives, amongst the sons as well. Sons, competed, and then there was also favoritism as well. So there is diversity in our, in our environment, in our families as well. And the diversity also causes dysfunction. But one thing that I love, the scripture that I love in First Peter 4:8-9, First Peter 4:8-9, it says, above all, love each other deeply. Love covers over a multitude of sin. It says we must offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. So as a family that is so diverse, these are the requirements, that we love each other deeply, we cover each other's multitudes, and we give hospitality, and, do it with love and smile without grumbling. Let's show each other the way without so much grumbling, without so much bitterness, but then with an open heart. And the scripture that I love, it's Psalms 133. My sister knows that it's become my signature lately. It talks about, togetherness, unity. And when there is unity, when you're united as a family, as much as, we are different people, we will be diverse because we are different people, different mindsets and whatsoever. But when we are united, the flow of blessings and the flow of an anointing, from the head and the beard of Aaron up until the garment. So it covers the entire family. And when we are united like that, and, we are covered by the Holy Spirit, and there's able to be blessings overflowing. We are fruitful as a family, as much as we have our own ills, but we are able to accommodate one another. So thank you so much for the segment, Ria.
Wow. Yeah. I think, one of the scriptures. Mina ungangibuzi sikuphi ngizokutshela nje. I'm that Christian. I'm like, I'm that Christian that ungangibuzi chapter 1. Kodwa ngizokutshela ukuthi kuthiwani. But one asked Jesus, and how many times should I forgive my brother or my brother's one, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And he said 70 times 7. Or yeah, something like that. So you have to find it in your gut to forgive over and over and over again. And it's something that we do not do well with family, and we do very well with friends. We can forgive our friends, whether they backstab us, whether they do this to us, whether you forgive them. But we are unable, or we are struggling, or we struggle to forgive those that we love so closely. It's difficult for you to forgive your brother or sister, for you to forgive your mom, your aunt, your father, But the strategy, I should make forgiveness with Lalangayo, Upranagayo, Lea boyfriend, Izagu, Hey, umjolo, pandemic, ne? Mar uyamxolele umjolo. But hey, parents, hey, brothers, hey, sisters, we need to find forgiveness. We need to start forgiving. We need to be able to do the love of Corinthians, loving unconditionally, forgiving each other over and over again. And if we can be that generation that can forgive over and over again, I think we will conquer. We will conquer with love. Eh? Final words?
Yeah, I truly believe that forgiveness is the way to go. And also to highlight why it's hard to forgive family and forgive umjol. I believe we expected so much from family that our expectations are so high, and then we don't expect to be hurt by them. So I think that's why the forgiveness, it's so hard compared to umjolo. Pita ngiyamforgiva ngoba uzongithengela i-KFC. Ngiyamforgiva ngoba
Yabona
uzongithengela airtime. You understand? Uyangisimudarisha ukuthi babe, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
But
family.
with family,
And I think I'll give you a closing words when I think the one thing for me is we are quick to also forget. We can't draw from the little things that our families have done good. If we can draw back to the good, I think we'll forgive. Ukuthi anyabona manje ukuthi uyanghetha. Yeah, but I remember the good and I'm going to forgive them for that good that they did for me, you know, when I was in hospital and they were the only ones coming to visit me. And now I'm well, even though they're hurting me and I'm despising them. I choose to forgive them from that moment.
Yeah, we should look back on the good because we tend to focus on the bad and the hurt, which is the one that it's also making hard to forgive because we don't see the good side of Uti. No matter how much Banchiga, but they have been providing. They're still here. You understand? As much as even themselves they are hurt. During that hurt, they are still here.
They're still doing their best.
They're still doing. You understand? They are still pushing to provide. They still say, "My child, as much as I may hurt you because of anger, past issues, and whatever, but she's still able to say." Come to me. I'm going to clothe you. Let's go shopping. Let's go. I'm cooking for you. You understand?
Have a shelter.
Those little things. I think it's the ones that you're supposed to draw up, and then be the ones that we forgive. Yeah.
Guys.
Rato, peace.
What's this?
Okay.
Rato zokuthandazela. Tala. Totally peace.
Okay. E-Bible. When it comes to e-Bible, I feel like it's pillar e-Bible 2.0. You know, everything is happening even now. And I think it kind of because I love to, I think I'm an overthinker. And I don't forgive easily, you know. I take time to forgive a person, even if it takes 2 years. I can just say "Ngiqolele," but give me space. Don't just come and say "Siqolele."
Definitely.
Some so jiva, some
absolutely.
You know, I ngizothi ngiqolele manje, but give me my space so I can breathe, so I can, you know, sit down with myself and console myself, etc. In this ganjam. But konje besigi ko ini it's
forgiveness.
Yeah, with forgiveness, like I said, I don't forgive easily. But yeah, with a family, I feel like we thought ukuthi umuntu akini angeke uzumcabangela ukuthi uzokhetha manje. Yeah, understand? It's something you didn't expect from maybe your sibling, your aunt, your mom, whoever, osemndenini. And then estradeni, umuntu asestradeni, I think we can sort that out. But nje it's something endlini ongayi-expectanga. Expectation yakho yasestradeni is inkulu okudlula yasendlini. Endlini you don't expect anyone to be there. Yeah. And then estradeni is just like there. And then when it happens, you just forgive the person. Endlini mayenzeka, you just like hate everybody because you feel like everybody's gonna hurt you.
Right. Let us
This
carry
is
each
us.
other's burdens
Yes.
and forgive.
With 30 seconds. That's it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think because endlini, they know your wound, they know everything about you. It's easy for them to hurt you because they hurt you at the point of knowing. The outsider is hurting you from a surface, so that's why it's difficult. But overall, good people. And now I hope parents, we know why our kids are angry. We know why kids use substances, because they want to use as a coping mechanism. Why they're partying, why they're out there trying to date sugar daddies and all, is because of that. So listen to the podcast. It will be aired. And yeah, tune in to and follow me. Tune in to the YouTube. And don't forget to follow me on W.O.C.E Sia on YouTube.
Yeah.
_ Twitter or W _ Ria Sia on Twitter. Facebook Ria Bethu Siabela. Instagram Ria Bethu Yika. I hope everybody has been woke.
Yes.
With
Do
woke.
make
with
sure you
Ria
subscribe
Sia.
and hit that notification button. And thank you.